Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Shalom, Biggie. Hello, Jay.
Michael,
How are you, my friend?
very well.
Yeah, doing all right?
Yes.
Get excited for a couple days off, nice
Very
holiday
much,
weekend.
Very much so, Mike.
Don't blow any fingertips off, any hands apart.
Yeah.
You know.
As mentioned, the main purchaser of combustibles in my family is out of town, Russell.
Yeah, Russell.
So we won't be doing much of that, I don't think. I mean, I think we'll have the typical sparkler for the sweet pie, the tiny girl.
Tiny girl needs a sparkler. Maybe
There you go, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
But we won't have any mortars or anything like that.
Oh, Lord. Lord, jeez.
It's funny. If I had to pick one member of your family that would be into mortars, it would be Russell.
Yeah,
It would definitely be Russell.
absolutely.
What you doing, Terry?
Anyway, hopefully Tara's doing okay this holiday. Is this triggering for him?
We'll have to watch social media, see if they reestablish themselves.
I mean, I hate to say this. Didn't he die, or he was in
No,
very?
man.
No, he was
in dire
Oh,
straits.
but it wasn't because of that episode. There was something else
I
going on.
understand
Remember,
that. Yeah,
prayers
yeah.
for Terry.
That's my point.
That's
though.
right. Yes, he was in the hospital bed. We were trying to get a hold of him.
His
for a
mom,
while
remember,
there.
his mom made that video, but it was bad, and she didn't really identify herself as well. Like, she didn't identify as backup Terry. She kind of was just like,
What you doing, Tare? She could have titled it anything like that. It
yeah,
would've
that
worked.
was it. She titled it terribly wrong. Yeah.
Bag up, bag up.
Bag up. What you doing, Tare? Yeah, that's great. Every year at this time, I will always think of Terry and that look on his face as he's trying desperately to put it in reverse and just can't do it.
I'm convinced we need to follow up and make sure Tara's okay now. Because,
Yeah.
Isis, you do bring up a good point. There was that medical issue thereafter.
Would that be a flags at half staff kind of moment?
Personally, yes.
I mean, for me personally, I feel
love
that way
this guy.
too.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry.
Oh, God bless him. Yeah, I know you were trying to find. Okay, yeah, we might as well watch the video. I mean,
we're
we're
this
right
deep.
here.
There's
I mean,
T-Bone.
There's T-Bone. There's car coming.
So,
Why
of
you're
course,
letting Tare do this?
Oh,
Tara's
hands,
our
T-Bone.
pledged friend to the right.
Hey, hold on.
Two guys coming. Two guys coming.
Two cars come.
Two cars gone.
Look at T-Bone.
Yeah.
Just holding the flame back.
Two different ways.
Hold on, Tara.
Hold on, Tare. Two cars. Two cars. The kid's got his red, white, and blue stars and striped shoes
Absolutely.
on. This is very
He's got his
festive.
red Yankees hat.
All right.
Bag up, bag up. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in
Terry's
reverse.
stuck.
Oh, no.
Oh, Lord, jeez. Oh, Lord.
Look at him get smoked out.
Jeez. What you doing, Terry? Terry,
Look at Tare right there. How you doing?
That shit-eating grin.
How you doing? I'm fine. Goes from sheer terror to just pure enjoyment.
Unbelievable.
In an instant. It's just such a great video. Oh, it's just so great. Oh, I love it. Hey, did you know E went yesterday and saw a movie?
No.
He went and saw the Mr. Rogers movie.
Oh, yeah.
It just got limited release.
Yeah.
So I don't know, where did you even go to
You
see
know what?
that, E?
Commerce. My dad has the week off with the holiday.
Sure.
And so they wanted to go see some movie, and I didn't really want to. And then they said they were going to see the Mr. Rogers movie. I was like, fuck, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I
Yeah,
guess.
how was it?
It was really good. I loved it personally. I don't know what other people would think. I
Is it a
loved
documentary?
Yeah, it's it is. It's not a movie. It's a documentary about
Do you remember
him.
the title of it? Because there's a couple of them that are coming out around this time
Where,
about Frederick Rogers.
Something about my neighborhood. What is it? What's that name? Well, fuck. Now I'm trying to think of the. What's the saying?
Fred
of the fucking
Rogers'
show?
Neighborhood, Mr. Rogers.
No.
Won't you be my neighbor?
Won't you be my neighbor?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just really crazy. I guess we always think
Did
about
he come
him.
off as creepy at all? Because Jay and I always got a creepy vibe
I
from
know,
him.
and honestly,
By all accounts, though, he's a great
by
dude.
watching,
Oh yeah,
watching
You know?
this,
never been anything
Yes.
negative written about him or even an allegation at
watching
all.
this and watching
Just
people
a
that
pure gut reaction.
It's just you see an adult man, taking his shoes off and putting his little, sweater on. I mean, it's just like the whole thing was kind of creepy.
Well, watching him talk, and then watching so many people that were involved with him, whether they worked on the show or were relatives or family, honestly, it just seemed like a dude who really wanted to educate and like send a loving message for children out
Yeah.
there. Like he took it really personally.
Was
They
it
go
because of Nam? Was that the thing where
it started? I can not even believe this if you'd asked me how when this show started. The first week, that's what that show took on, was Vietnam, and
You're not telling me Fred was a grunt in Nam.
no, but they took.
I think the reporting was so negative on TV that he wanted to do a show. Like I've
Bring
got to do
positivity.
something.
Well, the
Yes.
deal is, I think we talked about this a little bit when they announced this movie was coming out. But most people, if you don't know, he was going to go into the ministry, and then he comes home on a vacation and starts watching TV, and loves TV, loves the idea that TV could reach a mass amount of people and help people.
Mm-hmm.
So he stops the ministry thing and starts doing a TV show. But he wants
Boy, he about faced on the Lord. Wow.
But essentially this was his ministry. They have like a minister on there that talks regularly throughout it. He's like, no, dude, this was him preaching in reality. It was just his version of doing it. And it was shocking how many times he would get like self-doubt. That was he really helping? Were people really being
Fred,
he
how could you not think?
Dude,
even
I don't
for a
blame him, man. You
second?
step back and you watch that, and the first thing that hits you is this futile attempt to become comfortable when he walks in the door.
Yeah,
You know, taking
yeah.
off the jacket, putting on a sweater, and changing his shoes.
Yeah,
Out of those
yeah.
dumb shoes into his Vans. Like, really?
Yeah.
Futile. Totally futile.
Well, here's the
Third-party
thing.
observer would go, this is stupid. Trolley comes around and go, oh, wait. This is interesting.
And then Mr. Green Jeans or Cream Jeans, whatever, wasn't that the guy?
Trolley goes back into the made-up land.
Yeah.
You bring the puppets
the
out.
land of
you're-
make believe.
You're like, yeah, this has some legs. And then I agree with him for stepping back and going, is this good enough? Because god damn it, if that king wasn't
That's not
creepy.
why
The king was creepy as shit.
There's a
dude.
cat that was a creepy.
Yes.
But you
The
know what,
queen
Daniel?
was creepy.
Daniel, are you
Ugh.
talking about Daniel?
Sure.
Which one was
Daniel
Daniel?
the
was the
cat?
one. Probably, yeah. Dude, I gotta say, for one,
Creepy voice.
I got a little emotional at parts in this movie.
Tell me you did not weep during the Fred Rogers documentary.
I don't
He
know.
wept.
I think that what would it be, like teary-eyed would be the word. I don't think there was like
Your eyes got moist at the fucking Fred Rogers documentary.
it was so
Won't you
What
be my
made them
neighbor?
moist? What,
was
like,
this Daniel that you guys make fun of his or
the cat, the puppet.
the puppet puppet cat. But,
Tell
like,
me you did. I'm going to ask you to leave, E, if you wept for a puppet.
Well, what I wept at, I suppose, is the emotion that the reality is. I guess growing up, he was known by kids as like Fat Rogers or something, and also he had
slimmed down nicely.
He did.
You
Well,
know,
you know
I
what's-
see. I wouldn't even call him
Not
big
a
bone.
trace of fat
Not
on
a
him.
trace.
He says he claims,
He's
by
like
the way,
3% body fat. Look
as
at this
a-
Yeah,
guy.
I know.
as a
It's
person,
wisp. I would have considered him a wisp of a man.
as a
Yeah,
person,
you're overusing wisp. Please. When
All right,
I
fine.
initially coined Prince as a wisp, that's what a wisp is. You're calling everyone a wisp now.
Well,
you're ruining the meaning
All right,
of wisp.
all right. I'll stop
Fred
you.
Rogers is not a wisp.
I'll
He's a
st-
thin
I'll-
man with probably 3% body fat.
How tall is he? Because that comes into account too.
I'll look up his stats.
If he's 5 foot, if he's under 5'5", he's a wisp.
Mr.
Fair enough.
Rogers. No, Mr. Rogers.
He's probably 6'1" or
So
something.
here's the thing. For one, I know he was called. He for one had a lot of diseases as a kid. It was known as Fat Rogers. But at one point,
He
after
had a lot of diseases.
yes, he like went through all these diseases.
I could see him being a sickly kid.
Really?
Yeah.
They say about him spending a lot
Yeah.
of time in his bed quarantine.
The environment being tough for him. I could totally see this.
Really?
Right? Yes.
I mean, what are we
absolutely.
talking? Is this polio days?
Stuff. I mean, I don't know if it was
Tuberculosis.
polio, but it was
Yeah,
stuff
TB.
like
He got TB. You
You
think?
can picture him like Forrest Gump as a kid, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Big
It's like,
things
oh,
on his legs.
The neighborhood
big
kids just
braces.
like, yeah, Fat Rogers is bedridden
Absolutely.
again.
So at one point, though, he gets rid of that on some level, of course, as he's adult, and he claimed as an adult that from a certain point to continuing on till the end, I suppose, or very close to it, he was 143 pounds, never lighter, never heavier. He claimed that, and the
That's
thing
not
is,
a wisp.
and the thing is, his thing,
It's not a wisp.
Yeah,
He's
okay, you're
fucking
right.
6
143.
feet,
Yeah,
man.
is he 6 feet?
Yeah.
but his
he's
love
not a
of the
wisp.
number.
Stop calling
Sorry.
everything a wisp.
Sorry,
You're ruining the definition
I just
of
love
wisp.
the word. I'm sorry, it's a great word.
You can't just keep saying it though, just out of context.
I've been throwing it around willy nilly lately. I apologize. You're
But
right.
here's his thing, and
I'll
here's
be
why-
more careful in the future with the term wisp.
here's why it could be, I guess, questionable if he were to be technically was 143 all this time. I mean, although people said they would look at him on a scale, he had this love of the number 143 because 1, 4, and 3. 1, I love you. There's 1 letter in I, 3 letters in love, or 2 letters in
4
love,
letters in
whatever.
love.
Well, however it works, I love you. Those are the numbers of the words that
is
would be
one.
"I
Like,
love you."
love is
God
four.
bless the guy. I'm
Yeah.
thankful there's people like him on the planet. But
He's
my
overthinking
God,
it,
it's
though,
just
at
like
that point.
eye roll, dude. Eye roll.
Yeah.
I disagree. Obviously, I thought it was awesome personally.
Oh,
but
yeah, you got-
143. He loves the number 143
Dude, this
because I
dude-
love you. Again, great that he's here. Love it or was here.
Is it just that we're cynical to the point,
It's
like,
just-
where it's just like, nah, no one's that loving to strangers' kids? It's like, dude, and you're a guy. Like, it's harder. Like,
Yeah.
you said before in the beginning, I was like, so would you let a guy babysit your kids? You're like, fuck no.
Nope.
No.
No.
Maybe, maybe a family member. I think you said maybe I could, watch 'em.
Maybe.
Maybe. But, like, take it, like, neighborhood
No,
kid. Hi,
no.
I'm babysitting
Nope.
kids. No. And so there was just always something a little.
Look, I
creepy
guess I
about him,
get
that's
it. I
all.
didn't really. I watched it as a kid a little bit. I don't know that I watched it that much. But watching this document, I can't say the fucking word anymore. I don't even know how to spell it.
Documentary.
Sure, documentary. I mean, I just got this. Like I said, the sense that this dude just really, really felt like adults were not like he wanted kids to have a person to go on their level and like show them like it's okay to be you and this and that and different. But accepting, but
Yeah,
educate
yeah.
them, and he dealt with real topics.
Yeah,
like
real topics.
death,
He did. That's kinda cool,
suicide,
yeah.
I mean, and tried to really, really get on their level and try to explain it for them. I guess.
Do you know what his middle name was?
Oh, please say it's something.
This explains a lot. McFeely. Fred
Really?
McFeely Rogers. It's
Mc-
Mr. McFeely.
Yeah.
on the show.
McFeely. I was creeped out by that name
Yes.
too. It was
Oh.
like, what is this McFeely
See, it
character all about?
has a neutral origin.
So they say Daniel.
McFeely. I didn't even know that was a person's name. Where? Boy, oh boy, Frederick McFeely Rogers.
Sweet, huh?
Wow. Does he now? Is he a Rogers with a D or just a
He
G?
stood 1.83 meters tall. He's a Rogers without a D.
Did you like that,
G.
or did you prefer he had a D
It's
in there?
probably like something like one's English, one's Scottish, or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no preference.
Yeah, I really don't either. As far as that goes, I was hoping you had an opinion on that, but I really don't. I don't
No.
either. Yeah. So outside of weeping, getting misty-eyed,
I don't know. I mean, they said Daniel the cat. That I guess you guys thought was creepy, but like that was supposed to be.
It was the worst fucking puppet ever. Pull up Daniel the cat.
Well, I'll tell you this: they said where the puppets even came into play one time is when his first show, when he was doing his first show in Pittsburgh.
This is too much for E. Talk. I'll pull it up.
No, I can pull it up. I got it. His first show, they weren't planning on doing puppets, but they were so cheap that they had old just film and shit they would play in between stuff, but the problem was it was free, and so it was really cheap and it would fall apart. And so one time, one of the films while they were watching it,
Oh, it's that guy in the background.
that's the one, dude.
That guy in the background that looks like Mr. Smith from the fucking
Yeah,
space show.
Minnie.
God damn
Yeah.
it! I hated that guy.
I hated that fucker too. What is with those rosy cheeks?
That's
those
it.
Giant
it's
red.
the bulbous nose and
Ugh.
the rosy nose and cheeks.
Fucking
I didn't like
creepy
that,
as
dude.
shit.
And
How-
then you got this goddamn cat that looks like an old rain-soaked possum.
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah. It's weird. So why? What made you cry about Daniel E?
well, because they said that Daniel was like the most representative of really probably Fred's actual personality. That he was just always very insecure, always very. He grew up in a household, I guess, that his parents. It was like he explained it like it was not okay to ever be angry or something, and I don't know. He was very
That's
insecure.
a weird rule to have in the house, isn't it?
He was a very insecure person, I suppose, and this Daniel. So a lot of times when this Daniel would just be like, "Oh man," I mean, honestly,
Oh,
Mike,
yeah, I know that
that's what I
guy.
was gonna say, Mike.
Yeah.
You should relate to this in reality.
I'm Daniel. Nobody likes me. I wish people I just want people to likes me.
I don't know, dude. I guess I just got a little emotional because I just felt like this. I felt like
You're
I
not
didn't know-
alone. I've heard from a lot of people. I mean, the reviews are fantastic about.
I mean, it felt like just this dude came back. He left the show a little bit at one point, came back, and I guess like he was worried that people saw it as like much more of a simple thing that it was. He was really, really trying to have it be a
Yeah.
deep, meaningful show and to help educate and kids about this.
Well, I
stuff.
think it was. It was the first show of its kind to.
he made his mark.
outside of Sesame. Sesame Street was 1, 2, 3. They teach
I
it on
enjoyed
that, but-
watching Mr. Rogers, but like Mike, I continue to say, even though there's no evidence for this dude being creepy in any
Yeah.
way, there was this gut reaction, even as a small kid.
Even as a small kid,
like
that's so
4 or 5
true.
years old, you just watched and you went,
It's
I wouldn't want to be left alone with him.
I'll say.
it's awful to say because there's never there was nothing controversial in this film, was there? Was there anything
You
where
know
it was
what,
like,
the only thing that-
there was one kid,
Yeah, did
Timmy,
anyone
who came
ever
out
accuse him?
No, the one thing that I did get mad. It's funny. You find yourself getting these emotions. I got mad at this one part right around the 2000s, apparently there was this time where people were starting to get into the millennial thing and the entitlement and these kids' entitlement. And they were showing clips from like Fox News even and stuff where they were just slamming him, saying that him starting this in the 70s of like, oh, you're special and you're unique. Was the
I
reason.
remember that. We did a story on that recently.
And I was
about
like,
Fox.
I found myself getting very fucking mad because I guess maybe I'm watching this documentary, so I'm seeing them talk about what a nice guy he was.
There
It's
was
just
one
so-
professor somewhere who wrote an article, an op-ed, about Fred Rogers and saying this is what led
Pussified a
to Pussified a generation.
Yeah.
Yes. And that guy took that back and was like, I was taken out of context. I don't believe that at all. I think
Back up,
Fred was
back
great.
up.
But Fox News ran with that narrative
Dude, and
did
they're
a
on
couple
the
stories.
Yeah, they show
Yeah.
highlights of them on Fox News, like on Fox and Friends, and they're just, I mean, so mean. Just like this dude, this is ridiculous. This is the pinpoint
origin
reason
of
of
the
why kids.
pussification of America.
And he comes out later in a few when he would do, ceremonies at school, talks at graduations or what commencement speeches, I guess.
Sure.
And he would say that was not what that meant. It was just meant to say, hey man, you're, because he was very Christian. So it's just meant to be like, dude, you are special in the fact that a creator made you. You should love yourself. It had nothing to do with you're owed everything.
Yeah.
Don't work for it.
Yeah.
That had
Yeah.
nothing to do what he was pushing.
Did they handle Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood head on
I mean, what do you mean?
in the documentary?
They had- tell me they
tell me they
referenced
had a
Mr.
whole
So,
segment
like-
about.
Mr. Robinson.
Oh, as far as just what the stuff about it?
No, Mr. Robinson's.
Oh.
You're unfamiliar. Eddie Murphy's.
You know what they
portrayal?
did? They played some of
Really?
it. Yes.
Did they?
Yes, they did.
Thank God.
They said
Dude, him in the ghetto.
They said that he has a picture. Mr. Rogers, they showed him with a
Mr.
picture
Landlord.
of Eddie and him together.
Oh,
and he
nice.
said when Eddie Murphy met him, he hugged him and was like, oh, the original Mr. Rogers. I guess
Yeah.
they said that he had a pretty good sense of humor. As long as he just didn't felt like you were making fun of like the ideas that he was pushing. If you were just kind of having fun with it, it was good
Yeah,
natured.
there's a lot there to poke fun at.
Right,
He's
right,
got to
right.
have a sense of humor. I do kind of feel bad that we both have that kind of cynical. It's the same with
'Cause there's
Cub
nothing
Scout
there.
leaders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Well,
it's like,
there's
that's-
something there.
Yeah, well,
Maybe it's
I think Cub Scout leaders is a little different than
Yeah.
Mr. Rogers, but I know what you're saying.
but
yeah.
most of them, by far the
I think
majority.
that's good, though. I think it's good to naturally have your senses
Yeah.
up.
Well, you
Just
can-
to naturally go, that guy might touch my kid. I don't know if I want him left alone in this.
Yeah.
den.
Well, maybe at my age, though, to watch it in
'Cause
a
I don't want
movie.
my kids wandering out in front of a saber-toothed tiger and getting mauled. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I mean, there's
right.
that natural. You got to preserve myself,
Right.
and my kids, and I'm gonna have my radar up a little
Do
bit.
Cub Scout leaders know that we look at them and go, "Oh boy, hope he's one of the good ones"? Do they know that
I
that
don't know any
tag,
Cub Scout leaders.
is on them? Yeah.
I guess I was
don't know.
okay, maybe I could say to your guys' point about that. Maybe though, watching it, if you were to watch it as an adult, you'd probably look at it because you don't care anymore. You're not watching the show. I think that watching it at my age, though, I think I was able to appreciate that this dude was just a really
Yeah, you can see where he's
trying to-
going with it, right?
Yeah.
You're not just
Maybe if you're young,
analyzing,
I
like,
could
is this
plan.
entertaining me or not? You know.
So anyway, I don't know. I'd recommend it for sure if anyone was.
Yeah, I
looking to
hear
see
great
it.
things about it. I'm surprised it's not a wide release, that it's in this limited release right now.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it does well enough that they do a wider release, because I would like to see it.
Gentlemen, I watched something last night too.
Oh no, World
I-
Cup soccer.
I gotta tell you guys, you're missing out, man. If I
know.
can just pinpoint 45 minutes of time that
Okay.
you need to watch.
Yeah.
It's the second half of Japan Belgium.
Really?
Yes, go to fullmatchesandshows.com
Full
and pull up the
matches-
second half of that and just
Full
watch
matches
the second
and
fullmatchesandshows.com.
and show. Why did they add in shows?
I don't know. I've been watching. That's what
Well,
I've
it's
been
probably
using.
other shit. He's probably using it for soccer, but they probably do other things. So
must.
matches and shows.
Matches and shows.
All right.
The second half of Belgium, Japan.
Why? What?
Oh!
Was, what? You can spoil. it
Highly
for me.
entertaining.
What happened? Were
I'm
there
not gonna
just a
tell
lot
you.
of, was
I'm-
it
I
just
want
a
you to watch
flurry
it.
of goal
I want you to-
scoring?
I just want you to watch it.
Any good dives?
No.
What? So what made it special? Just give me a hint, like what I'm going to see.
It's drama. It's a crazy ending. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. I'll try to do that. Full matches and
I
shows.
want a full report when I come back
All right,
from
all right.
our vacation.
Very good. Very good. Did you see Rachel Dolezal back in the news?
Doesn't she have some African name now?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you know her as Nkechi Diallo.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh,
sorry.
boy.
Sorry about that.
Boy.
The former
Or mentally ill lady. Yeah.
the former
That
NCAA
one.
leader
Right.
is what she is. Pretended to be black. Has been booked and fingerprinted on welfare fraud charges. Boy, who couldn't see this coming? Like Ian and I watched that documentary on her, and it was obvious that this is going down the wrong road.
Mm-hmm.
Just a piece of shit car. no one standing by her really, and just can't really find work, and it's like, oh boy. And then the reveal at the end where her book, 540 copies, I think.
Oh,
or so.
no.
It was like, ooh.
I mean, don't they like? God,
It's
there's a
just
few people that buy
nonsense.
it
Who
just
wants
because,
to read that shit?
right?
It's fucking mentally ill nonsense.
It's total nonsense.
And she never, I mean, I know we talked about it already, but in that movie, she never answers the real questions. It's always like just so beating around the bush as far as, okay, really, what is the deal? Are you black or white, or why did you do this?
What?
That thing with
Do
the
what?
reporter, where it's like,
When she
are your
froze,
parents white?
What? I don't know what you're talking. Yeah, you know what we're talking about. She's been charged. She was charged in May with theft by welfare fraud, perjury, and false verification for public assistance.
Yeah, I remember that.
She illegally received $8,747 in food assistance and $100 in child care assistance from August of 2015 through November of 2017. An investigation started when a state investigator received information that she had written her autobiography in full color, Finding My Place in a Black and White World. The weirdest thing about that, too, was that I learned from the documentary was I had no idea that she was just like a normal white chick for like most of her life. That this transition into being black did not start when she was 8. Like it was the last few years. She's been doing this only for a handful of years. And so it's like, dude.
She got hit in the head by a 2x4 and all of a sudden
Yeah.
thought she was black.
Now we're cornrowing and tanning up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So documents say she had deposited nearly 84 grand into her bank account without reporting it. She sparked
Oh, Rachel.
outrage when she pissed off her parents. They went, "Yeah, by the way, she's a white bitch, right?"
Oh, Nikichi.
And remember,
Although it's funny because it all came down to that lawsuit, or the sexual, or not lawsuit, but about
Yeah,
the
there was
sexual
a kiss.
assault.
It's a domestic
abused.
issue where
Yeah.
all this shit came out.
Right.
Right.
It would not. Who knows what would have happened if she hadn't been like this key.
Still be leading the
Right.
NCAA in Seattle, right?
absolutely she would. She'd be working on brackets and stuff for next year right now. But yeah, remember when they said the parents traced their lineage, and it was like, oh my God, this bitch can't be any whiter.
It's as white as white can be.
She's
It's
like the whitest
Danish,
chick.
Swedish. Yeah. It's insane.
There's not a
She's
hint.
a fucking Viking.
Yes, it's hilarious. And so, yeah, she was, her parents, busted her for posing as a black chick. And then in March, Netflix got a lot of shit when the first trailer dropped. People were like, why are you spending money to promote someone who is so fraudulent and problematic? After the story became a sensation, she lost her job at the NCAA. And she's been kicked off a police commission, lost her job teaching African studies at Eastern Washington
There's just
University.
no redeeming quality to the story. You know
No,
what I mean?
No.
Because it's like
You want more.
if it was a black woman going white, then you'd have this whole thing like, yeah, see how she feels pressure to get into that white privileged angle, and
Yeah.
there'd be that like, oh, this poor being,
Did whatever
and
I could to
look
get
at-
away from the...
Yeah, and look at our society, how it's pushing this, and
Yeah.
but this is just fucking like, what?
Yeah, she just liked black people. She dated black men. She, her adoptive family was all black. That her parents adopted a bunch of black kids, and so she kind of
There's no part of the narrative that's like an attractive story. It's just odd. It's odd as fuck.
Well, she did an interview last year with the BBC and said that ethnicity is not biological, okay, and compared being transracial, which she claims to be, with being transgender, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of similarities in the two.
Mental illness.
Yeah, they're both absurd in a lot of people's minds. And going back to that article that we read a few years ago about transgender, remember that woman that wrote that article and was like, here's the problem.
There's been so many. I don't know.
I know, but it was like, you're never going to, you can claim to be a woman all you want, Bruce Jenner, but you're never going to know what it's like to get, surprise period for the first time in school. Or
Oh yeah,
walk
there's a
down,
feminist who really took issue with Jenner just
Yeah.
hijacking the gender.
Right. You're never going to
And
know
here
what
you
it's,
are in your high-heeled pumps with your quote unquote boobs hiked up.
bosom.
Yeah, your bosom trying to look like a woman, a
Yeah.
lady.
Stereotypical,
Yeah.
like beautiful woman in her gown, and
It's like
you
just
don't know what
that
it's like
image doesn't make you a woman.
and you'll never know the feeling
biologically.
of walking down an alley when it gets dark and worrying about your safety.
Bruce Jenner's an Olympian. He can still whoop ass. I mean,
It's like
Oh, yeah.
6'3", 210 or whatever.
people are like, he's
And a Republican.
conservative. He's a Republican. It's like, yeah, he's still a 63-year-old white man. Yes, It makes total sense.
Stole that one.
Huh?
Admit it. You stole that.
I did not steal
You
that
did
one.
not? You
No.
made that up?
Yeah.
Really?
Fuck yes.
Did
Are
he make
you
that
kidding
up?
I
me?
thought you made that up.
No,
No.
that was done years ago.
I said
Are
that
you
years
sure?
ago.
Are you sure?
Okay, I don't
Mike, I
remember.
want you to give credit where credit is due.
I would never steal that.
I feel like that was taken.
Oh, my
Maybe
God.
I'm just remembering you say it.
You remember
Maybe
me
we're just
saying it. He's a
rehashing every
60
joke we've ever told today. Maybe that's what's going on.
Oh, I take
day
such
after day.
offense when you accuse me of plagiarism.
There's only been 2 times I've accused you of that.
I know, but I didn't like either of them.
Yeah, but the
because those
first
were
one I
good
was
jokes.
right.
It's like what?
The first one I was right.
I can come up with a mediocre joke and you'll let that go. But if I come up with something good,
Jesus, Bing it.
I
We'll Bing it on the break.
I mean,
I hope
do
the
remember.
Detroit cast
I
comes up.
remember it coming up on the show, but I thought we called you out the first time, or I thought you gave credit the first time.
I don't think so, dude.
Okay.
No.
All right, you're claiming that as yours.
I'm
The
claiming
record
that as
is
mine.
such that you are claiming that joke.
If
he's
you-
still a 63-year-old white man. Of course he's a Republican.
Yes.
He's still a 63-year-old white man. Mike Walters,
Yes.
the Detroit cast. Okay.
Yes. I'm not
The
saying other
record is
people didn't
clear.
think of that
The record
as
is
well,
clear.
but
Now on the break, we'll figure this out. We'll hash this out.
you think there's going to be like credit given
I
to that
hope
line
not.
online?
I hope not.
Now you got me worried, like that I admitted. Oh yeah, I stole that from Glenn Beck. But no, I remember specifically reading the story, and he was talking about.
I'm on
like,
your side on this one personally, but
He was talking about
I
saving
remember it coming
money,
up on the show for sure.
and the
But I thought
trans
at the
people
time
were all
you're like,
bummed out.
as Bill Burr says, or as so and so
and
says.
don't I do that? I give
Yeah,
credit,
but that's what I'm saying. Is I think you
no,
did
no.
that the first time.
no.
All right.
Okay, fuck. I'm always wrong when you take a stand on something, but I
You
seriously
could totally be right.
I remember thinking that at the time, going, "Oh shit! Well, yeah, of course he's for these very right-wing ideas.
Yeah.
He's still technically a
That may very well have been
63-year-old
written
man,
in the
white
margins
man.
of your printout, like
Yeah.
you do. You write down your thoughts
I
as
do.
you read
I wrote
the story.
Dolezal, ethnicity is not biological, compares transracial to being transgender. I then wrote, "Yeah, they're both absurd." See what I did there?
Yeah.
And
So that's a Mike Walters original.
yes,
We should keep all your notes. Can we file these things?
God,
okay, now you're starting to sound like someone else.
Yeah.
No, but the transracial one is a lot like that article that was talking about you don't know what it's like to get your period for the
course,
first time.
yeah.
It's like, dude, you can be a white bitch anytime you want. Any doesn't mean you are or you would, but you can. That's something that a true African American is not able to just do that.
It's the most white privileged thing you could do.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
a white woman. Hey, I'm going to become a black woman now because I feel
Sure.
like it.
And there were all kinds of stories too where she was trying to oversell her blackness. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, I'm being attacked. I'm being
Yeah,
And it was
I
like
remember that.
letters are showing up, but they're not postmarked.
Yep.
You know, calling her the N word and look, I was called the N word again.
Yeah.
You know, oh, someone threw a banana peel on my lawn. You know, and people were just like, even black people were like, God damn, man, I've never seen
Never happened to me.
No, it was so rare. I mean, I've heard of people having this happen, but boy, oh boy, this bitch is being harassed daily. In her memoir, she likened being forced to do household chores as a child to indentured servitude. She's comparing herself to a slave. It's the institution of slavery in America. She also wrote how her first marriage ended because, do you know why her first marriage ended? Can you think of a good reason?
She's a psycho bitch.
Well, that obviously. Take that aside. That's the obvious number one answer on the board. She was too black for her black husband, was the problem there. And so you can see how that happens.
too black.
That's what she wrote. She was too black for her African-American husband.
What, married to an Uncle Tom, I guess, or what?
I don't know. The whitest bitch in the history of white people is too black for her black husband. Boy, oh boy, I didn't see it coming. We did the story yesterday, Jay, about the soccer team. Is it the Tiwanese soccer kids trapped in a
Thailand.
cave?
Thai.
Thai. 12 boys.
It's in Thailand, at least. I'm assuming it's a bunch of Thai boys.
Yeah. Them and their coach found in a flooded cave in Thailand.
This is
This-
a goddamn movie waiting to be. It's being written as we speak in
Yeah.
real time. This movie's being written.
Could this be the first movie being written actually in real time? If you don't make a movie about this, I lose faith in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to do it? Spielberg?
We
It's-
need a couple of these kids to
Die?
die.
Yeah, you think so? It'd be good for the narrative, for
Yeah.
the story. Because there's got to be, well, they're talking now how they might have to be in that cave till October.
Dude, they're gonna become troglodytes.
they're going to be
develop.
cave people.
They're gonna fucking develop gills, and they're gonna lose their eyesight and shit.
You
You
think
know,
so?
they'll have no more use for it.
I think they're babying them too much. They've sent a couple Navy.
What would you do if this was your kid? you go, yeah, you know what? If we can leave them there a few months, we can keep transporting food and water, etc.
Light.
And we'll
doctors.
get them out in a few months when the rainwaters recede.
Yeah.
Or we can teach them how to scuba dive.
None of them know how to swim.
11 to
At all.
16-year-old kids.
Yep.
Teach them how, and this has been termed by even the experts like pretty narrow passages and pretty technical diving.
Meaning they can't go together. It's like you.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, Bill, it's your turn.
I say, why not throw a little bit of scuba gear over there and let them practice? I don't know. Maybe they're killing it in a month.
Yeah. Could you imagine they turn out to be just incredible deep sea
Just-
divers?
yeah.
It's just natural.
Frogmen.
So they're considering teaching them how to do that. They've sent a couple Navy SEALs in there, and some, but they're talking about breathing apparatuses. They're trying to raise money for full masks because if they get scared and the mouthpiece falls out, like it's easier with the full mask on. But it's like, would you really want like Sweet Pie's age to like, okay, I know you've never been in water before, you don't know how to swim at all, but we're going to strap some diving gear on you, give you a couple lessons, and then you get through the caves. Miles of caves.
13 years old is way different than my little tiny girl, who's 9.
But you
That's-
can't leave
that's a
her alone in
huge
there
difference.
if everyone else bails and gets out.
Of course.
So it's
of
all or
course.
none.
Man, I think I'd be conservative, and at least I'm assured that they're getting food and water, and there's
Yeah. Boy, oh boy, they're in monsoon season, and so they're like, we got like 3 days to get these fuckers out of here, or we're expecting torrential downpours, which will just
the movie
fill
aspect
up.
of this. Hollywood is just champing at the bit.
They're acting like this is a terrible story. Everybody's thrilled that the kids were found alive by these British, divers that found them. And but I'm like, dude, wouldn't that be kind of kick ass if you were one of the kids, though? I mean, you don't have to put up your parents' bullshit. No homework. They wouldn't make you do chores in the cave, would
It's
they?
fucking summer, man.
Yeah, that's true. But
It's the worst time to get stuck in a cave.
yeah, but dude, they'll be back in school in late August.
That
September.
blows, man.
Yeah,
You don't want to be stuck in a cave for months. No,
See,
as a kid, you missed your whole summer
dude,
in a
I
fucking cave.
hated. But you're with your buddies. You're having summer in the
Ah.
cave. You're at the lake. You're swimming in rainwater. Like I hated chores. I hated cleaning my room and doing homework.
Do we
And
know what the environment actually like? Are they all huddled onto a 10-foot space of rock?
It sounds
and
like
it's
they
all water
went-
below that. Like, where are they?
I
Is
don't
this
know.
A huge open expanse where they can move around and.
I think so. I think it was like they said 6 miles worth of cave tunnels. And
No, I
stuff.
understand that, but-
and they're 3 miles into that. But I don't know how big their platform is. And if it's not big enough, they could find a bigger one. With a little exploration, I would think.
Well, let's see where that got them.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. And are you going to put that on the coach, Ekapol Janthawong? I mean, Janthawong.
We've all spelunked, right?
Sure.
We've engaged in speluncation
Sure.
to some degree in our lives, right? We've all been in a cave. Isis, am I right?
I guess I have, yeah.
Been to
Feel.
like
Mexico, yeah.
There, Kentucky. There's all those
Yeah.
caverns that you go to as
Did
a
the
kid.
Northville tunnels count?
No.
Okay.
But look, I mean, isn't there a point where you're in that cave, and obviously the ones we've been to are national parks and stuff like that, and you're not allowed to go
You're
off
going
the
to
trail
blame
and all that.
Janthawong, aren't you?
Yes, there's no fucking way you go off the beaten path in a goddamn cave.
Dude, Mr. Janthawong is desperately trying to help these kids.
Does he
They're exploring
does he
some
even
caves.
have one of those lights on his head?
Oh, I would hope
no,
so.
a headlamp. No, he doesn't even have that.
He doesn't?
No, they've got nothing. Like, why are you going down a passageway that's too dark or too slippery, or you don't know where it goes? You stay. No, this is insane.
He only took the kids 3 miles in
my
to the
God.
caves. He only went
3
dude, he's like
miles,
halfway.
holy-
I mean, there's
I mean,
6
it-
miles worth of caves.
Don't you get a sense within 30 yards of what this cave system is, and you go, all right, cool, right? We got the stalactites and the stalagmites.
Yeah,
it's a little
yeah, you see
chilly
the
in
sweat
here.
coming down off the
Which
rocks.
one's which? Jesus, go.
I don't know.
Tight. It holds on tight to the top.
Okay.
And the might
Mike
is not
goes
mighty
out
in
of the bottom.
Sure.
Well, I'm not ready to just throw Ekapol Janthawong under the bus.
He's the only adult.
But they're already saying, look, Janthawong might be facing some charges when we get out of this thing. So, now's not the time to discuss that, in my opinion. I thought it was interesting, the conversation when those Brits found the kids, and they've got a transcript of it. And so they were like, what day is it? The kids don't know what day it is. Doesn't someone have to be responsible for just taking that rock and marking like day one on
How
the
do you even know when you're in the cave, man?
caveman or in the cave comma man?
comma, man.
I
How do
think
you even know, dude?
When you wake up, you put another mark on the wall.
You wake up after a 2-hour nap. Do you put another one? I mean, it's totally disorienting.
You think so?
Yes, unless somebody's sitting there with a fucking functional watch.
So the Brits say, how many of you are there? The kid says 13, and the rescuer's brilliant. There's 2 of us. We had to dive. We're coming. It's okay. How would you tell him that? Many people are coming. We are first. And the kid's like, what day is it? And the rescuer's like, Monday. 1 week and Monday. You have been here 10 days. You were very, very strong. What day can you come help me?
a great question.
We hope tomorrow. Navy SEALs will come tomorrow with food, doctor, and everything. Today you have a light. We will give you more lights. Like, I want food. Like, fuck your light.
God.
Dude, I'm adjusted down here. My eyes have adjusted to this darkness. My stomach has not 10 days without shit to eat. How about we send some food in here
Yeah,
before we
that's
worry about
incredible.
lights? And then the kid goes, where do you come from? He says, the England, UK. And so thank God those guys found them, though. Man.
10 days.
10 days. And they said they had
I
like a-
thought for sure these dudes would be dead. Like
Of
you'd find
course.
them all drowned in some passageway. And
Well, if they were elderly, forget it. Those elderly do not hold up well in situations like that. They can't even handle a little, heat wave half the time. But these kids, youth on their side, and they said
you're lucky. Apparently, fresh water is it wasn't water that was contaminated in any way, and they're
Yeah.
able to drink.
they said Janthawong deserves some credit too because he kept them huddled together where they were able to stay warm, and instead of letting this kid wander off. Just
Talk
even-
about common sense, man.
well,
Yeah, what do
I
you
mean,
mean? That's like the first thing everyone knows about if you get caught out and it's your body heat and warmth.
you
Like,
can't have it both
I
ways.
give
You're calling.
Janthawon zero credit on this.
You're giving you
I think
want
the
to
kids
shit on
already knew
Janthawong
that.
for being a moron and driving 3 miles into a cave.
No, I don't
But then
think-
you want to give him credit as a genius
No,
for
no,
or not give him
No,
credit
I'm
for
That's
that.
not what
giving him
Jay's
zero
doing.
credit for any of this shit.
Jay's
He's a
not
moron.
credited him for being a genius and going through the cave. It's just he was an idiot. He just wanted to push too much further than he should have. He's an asshole, maybe. Maybe he just wanted to see more of the caves and didn't care about these kids.
Yeah, I bet there's some truth to that. That he really wanted to see how deep he could get into the
Wonder
caves.
if he wanted to get them all alone.
Oh boy, you're gonna
One
go
at
there?
one at a time.
Wow,
Take them in the back room. I don't want to cast aspersions on
Yeah.
Janthawon.
alleged.
Sounds like a great guy.
And we don't even know if there's a back room in these caves. I mean, honestly,
He
this
was
could've been-
looking for one.
Yeah, it was a disaster.
A little deeper. Go find another.
They've released some more videos regarding Vegas and the concert shooting. Stephen
Are you
Paddock.
starting to feel better about this? Like there's no fucking huge conspiracy, or is it getting worse in your mind?
No, I don't want to say I always thought there was a big conspiracy. I just thought it was fucking weird. I've watched enough news over the years to know how these stories unfold. In having to get all these go to court to demand anything from day one. It's just weird. That's all.
You know what?
So I don't know what I'm saying there, but it makes it easy to go. What are you guys hiding, man?
It's
What's
the
going on?"
largest mass shooting ever in the country,
Yeah.
and it did seem to be broomed pretty quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the cops is like, they've got. Have you seen the video of them on the 31st floor of the hotel?
Yeah.
Standing there for minutes while the shooting's
It's
going
another
on.
instance where these active shooters and cops aren't reacting.
Yeah. Well,
Cops or security guards.
there were security officers. They called them officers, and there was a cop. One of the cops there. He's like a 10-year police officer. Cordell Hendricks said he admitted in his written report he froze with fear. Froze with fear. And Hendricks said he was terrified with fear. I froze right there in the middle of the hall for how long I can't say. Well, video shows how long, and it was like 4 or 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and where he won't go up to that 32nd floor.
Wasn't there some discrepancy though? Didn't he report that he did? And there was a maintenance guy who said no, he was on this floor with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were all stuck on the 31st floor just listening to it play out for minutes, just bursts. You know,
Hey, Holmes, you're a cop, aren't you?
Yeah.
You got a sidearm, right?
they've all got him drawn and they're just standing there in the fucking stairwell. It's like, dude, this guy, but he's listening and he radios and he says, holy shit, that's rapid fire. And so he knows that he's like, I got a fucking side piece here. And that is an automatic weapon going off up there. It was the bump stock, thing that was doing that. I'm inside the Mandalay Bay. We can hear it above us. Just be advised, it's auto fire, fully automatic. Fired from an elevated position. Take cover. It's like, the civilians are supposed to take cover. You, sir, are not supposed to take cover. Paddock fired for 10 minutes from that window. Body cam video shows 2 teams of officers sometime later moving carefully from different locales. It was about 80 minutes before they ever went into that room. Now, in their, is that?
I mean, it's like 5 minutes, so I don't know how much where to come in here, but
One floor above them, gunman is shooting.
We don't seem to be in an urgent rush here.
I think it's. Let me know if you want to skip ahead or if you.
Yeah, you can skip ahead.
Kind of.
There's a. Stay in your room.
See, protecting and serving right there.
That's right.
Off the radio. I'm with Metro right now.
Guy with an earring and a gun.
Looks very Vegas.
Yeah, doesn't it?
So is this?
Yeah. Anyway, Eugene O'Donnell, former New York police officer who teaches criminal justice in New York, called for an honest conversation about the need for police to transform on a dime from peacekeepers to military commandos. He said, we have to be realistic. Police officers they're civilians with guns. The notion that they can spring into action and take on a mass murderer who is running up the body count is probably something you can't ask for. No amount of tactical training and crisis conditioning, short of actual combat experience, can overcome a natural reaction to pause in the face of danger. This is not a training issue. You can simulate an active shooter scenario, but it's not the same as when the real bullets are flying. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But it's troubling nonetheless. You know, it's like, shit, man. This is the career you signed up for. And
So he just said no amount of training can solve that?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, though, training is so... It's training. You know,
But,
it's not
dude, he's
real.
right. He is right, though, man. They're just police. I mean, the reality is they might deal with this once in their entire career. Probably only a few times. Maybe only
Yeah,
once,
there's
maybe
guys
never.
that never shoot their gun once.
I understand.
Shit,
So-
chances are you never, ever, ever deal with anything like this.
Yeah.
So the point is, like, his
Yeah,
his
to be
point
able
of cops being, dude,
Recognize, holy shit, this is the moment, and I have to act like a fucking commando right now.
Yeah, you would think one of them though would be like, "Fuck this, man! This guy's in my town and he's raining bullets down. I'm going in." You would just think there would be one guy in the. It doesn't shock me.
But
that
you
some
don't
guys
know.
freeze.
Again, you got to remember, you don't know what's going on. There could be 10 guys up there with guns trained at each elevator and each entry
Yeah,
point to
yeah.
that. I mean, I'm sympathetic to that feeling. Like, dude, just absolute fear
Yeah.
would set in.
You're used to giving speeding tickets out, and now
Yeah.
you're dealing with
drunks
this.
on the strip. I mean, just, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
And you probably have to consider there's a damn good chance I open the door to the next level and I'm not
And I'm
coming
gone.
back.
Yeah, yeah. It's
That's
terrifying.
hard to get your head around when you could just go, well, I'll kind of creep around this floor and make sure everybody's
sweep-
safe on this floor.
I'm gonna sweep floor 29 again. There was a
Wait-
guy that
wait for
swept like
backup.
4 floors. There was a couple of cops. Like, oh, I got floor 28. Like, yeah, but the shooting's coming from floor 32. I got floor 28. Maybe he's got a friend down there, and I could talk to him.
You know what's we heard after this all the talk about like the possibly going in and out of casinos, like the metal detectors, how just were gonna change shit. And my sister and Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers were just in Vegas for like a day.
Shocked. I can't
I know,
not
but if I didn't say,
I know.
if I
You'd
didn't
have
say,
gone Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers?
Right,
Yeah.
You'd
so-
have gone, yes, Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers.
but they were in it, and I asked them like, hey,
For any
so-
new listeners, Big E's
Okay.
sister dates a guy. Actually, she's
Bangs him, too.
fiancé to.
No, they're still just dating. I mean, they
Oh,
live
wow.
together in a house, but
Oh,
they're
Doesn't
not.
put a ring
living
on
in
it?
sin. Living in sin.
Yeah. Why doesn't he put a ring on it?
I don't know. It's a good point.
Tell her to stop giving that sweet ass up. Tell her to
She's-
stop giving that ass up. She's
you
hot.
will agree. She's a sweet ass, right? She's got a sweet
She's a
ass.
sweet ass. He
Jesus?
had a crush on her, remember?
did not have a
You
crush.
said she was hotter than all her friends.
That's that,
If
I
you
think
had to
can
bang
make-
one of them, either her or her
That's
friends.
not- no,
He's
that's
a-
never what I
yes, yes,
said.
That's
yes.
what I remember.
there's no. I don't think there's anything weird about admitting that my sister had a lot of ugly friends. That's. I mean, if I was just a guy looking at a lineup of girls, that my sister would be the better looking of most of her friends. at
You
the
guys have
time.
very similar grills. I'll give you that.
That's the only reason I haven't tried to bang his sister is because it's
I
like
know.
I
She
would
smiles. It's
I-
like,
it's
ah,
like, oh God, I
shit.
see Big E.
It's
Oh
Big
no,
E.
I see Big
But
E.
anyway, Big E's
But-
sister,
oh,
for
sorry.
new listeners, has a boyfriend who apparently is living with her, living in sin.
Shit.
And he looks like Aaron Rodgers, but just a little bit off.
just a
As if he
couple
has
droplets of downs.
If Aaron Rodgers had downs, if he was
Yeah.
a Mongoloid, he would have looked like
I'll
this
say this
dude.
enough. You,
And then when you look at him, you will laugh out loud because you'll see it immediately. Be like, oh yeah, Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers, totally. Totally.
Enough so that one time when he was in another time when he was in Vegas at a nightclub, he was leaving and he heard someone behind him say like, "Damn, we're walking out of the club with Aaron Rodgers." So I mean, somebody.
I didn't know it looked a touch retarded. That's weird.
But my point was going to be is they were recently in Vegas, and I asked them just like, "Hey man, because of that, they talked about was it a bitch to walking out of casinos?" And they said it didn't notice any difference.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they all just said that like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna start putting harder." Like they mentioned like metal
on the target.
detectors going in between the casinos and stuff, and that's definitely
They
not
don't want to do
happening.
that in Vegas.
Oh, it'd be terrible.
yeah, they don't want to do that.
Gentlemen,
Anyway, yeah.
and we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, Doug. Now's the time. Contact Realtor Doug Steinert. It's summer, time to list your current home and to go looking for your dream home. Curbside appeal is at its peak and real estate is moving. Contact Douglas today at 248-765-1781. He and the team at Century 21 Campbell will work to get you the absolute best deal on the sale and or purchase of your home. Doug's the man, easy to work with, and a great friend of the show. Call Douglas today, 248-765-1781.
Adult babies, Jay. Big fan.
This is just so weird.
Where on the weird list, like when you're talking about dungeon play, like the guy Saran wrapped up yesterday that died.
Yeah,
in
the
Hollywood.
mummification. That was
Does-
so bizarre.
Does adult baby? Did you put it on that level? Because I think of
Well,
like being wrapped like a mummy.
They always
is
say
worse.
it's not sexual, right? Like the mummification thing, that was
Yeah.
absolutely like, yeah, this is our sexual thing. This
I
is
don't know
what we
you
do. It's bondage.
Got a hole in his butthole, on his butt, Saran wrap. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. But baby thing, they always say, oh, it's not sexual. It's just like I'm an anxious person or something. I
Yeah.
need stress relief, and this is what does it for me. And
but
so
pacifier and a rattled will do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Well, I was watching.
they always poop themselves. It's a big thing, right? I
Dude,
want to poop myself, and then diaper change position, boom, as an adult.
Yeah, that'd be
God,
fun.
that's got to be
dude.
troubling.
Yeah, to be wiped though by
Ugh.
your significant
Big
other.
hairy butthole.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You got a bonnet on, you're going goo goo gaga.
Like a man-sized dump.
Yeah,
Way different than a little kid.
and you've talked about how when your kid shits, like it goes up their back,
Absolutely.
and
Depends
all
on
over their
how,
balls.
How you're sitting, if you're sitting tightly in a car seat or a stroller, whatever it is, you shit. It's got to go somewhere, and
Yeah,
a lot
it's-
of times up your back,
Oh,
or swinging around the top of your dong.
Yeah.
It's like
So-
what the fuck.
ball sack is just covered in shit.
Oh, you're basically taking a baby wipe to a cauliflower,
Yeah,
and trying to get it out of all the crevices. It's,
all the lines in
yeah,
there,
all
the
that-
wrinkles.
yeah.
Shit.
It's a bitch.
Man, can you put those things under like warm water for a minute, let them loosen up, and make it clean up easier?
It actually doesn't.
Really?
Yeah. The tighter the ball sack, the easier it is.
No
Think about
kidding.
it. You got a droopy ball sack. You're just
Yeah.
kind of
Okay.
like
I hate to say this. This is kind of
you're
off
trying
the
to paint a tongue, basically.
Yeah,
You know what I
it'd be
mean? You
hard.
want it to be.
Taut.
Taut.
Okay, yeah, you can really get in there. I got you.
This is kind of off the subject, but it's on the subject of pooping, I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
I know.
Did you poop yourself?
I recently had another situation where I was running and had to go to the bathroom
Oh,
really
no.
bad.
Did you find your pine cone tree?
No, I was in the trails, this trail area, and they have trails and it's like a state park kind of shit. And I'm all of a sudden like, I gotta fucking go, and I start walking, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it.
Are
And
you
I-
turtle familying at this point?
Oh yeah, and I
Yeah.
get to one of those ones, where it's like an outhouse essentially. It doesn't even flush; it's just a seat,
Oh, yeah, it's
and it just goes
disgusting.
down into the ground. I get in there, dude, and it's like
Blowout.
even right before I get it didn't get in my pants, but like I was like taking my pants off, and it was like
Explosive.
essentially I was just aiming it at the seat.
Oh, so the next person is just
I
what
took-
kind of monster?
I took as many. They didn't. I took about half. They only had about a half a roll left, so I took as many as I could. And
Oh, so you cleaned out the toilet paper roll too.
Well, I wiped the seat part, but I was not able to get the stuff that was on the bolt, like the bottom bowl and stuff.
Oh,
It
man.
was,
So it was explosive.
it was bad. It
yeah,
was
it
just
just exploded
I
out of
just
you?
had to go.
Did you have anything left to wipe yourself?
No.
No, so you just
So I had to-
hustled home. Huh?
Yes. Sweaty as shit too, and I'm like
Oh, covered in Biggie sweat and shit.
literally sweat and
Are
shit.
you really still running? I'm looking at that little
I know.
pouch
Yeah,
you
I
got going
run
there.
4 days. I don't know. It's not
Really?
during.
You're running that much? 4 days a week? Jesus, you've got the,
But I eat
star-bellied
shit.
sneech body
I know.
going like
I don't
crazy.
Yeah,
eat
we gotta
well
get that
and-
star on him quick before he blows that whole thing out. And
I don't
turns
know. I
into
go
Big Bird
running,
instead of
but
Sneech.
running is really not the best thing you can do to lose weight if I'm not eating right still. And I mean,
Goes hand in hand,
it does
doesn't it?
something, but not much. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to get a little better in the months, the summer months actually. So we'll see.
Okay.
Gonna try to cut out fast food and stuff like that.
Write that
so.
down. We'll give him. We'll check back 3 months from now.
Yeah.
See where
okay.
we're at.
In August. End of August.
Sound like
But
a pretty deep commitment there. I don't know. I'm
No,
trying to
I'm-
try
Think about it.
this summer.
I'm gonna try. I always say that, and then it's like some weekend thing comes in, and I'm like, oh shit.
Well, going back to the adult baby. This
Hmm.
is a chick, Heidi Armstrong. Do you have a little video? I think there's a tiny bit of video out there, E, that we could check out really quick, just so you can see.
This
see
is
what
the
she
most
looks like.
pathetic thing a human can do,
Yeah.
honestly.
I mean, look at her with her little pigtails and her
Yeah.
passy.
is going on here. Could you explain what it is that you do and why?
attention seeking. That's what I'm doing.
Well, basically, I am an adult baby. In our
Right.
community, we call it little space. What I do is I
space.
act as a small child when I'm stressed or just
that a
need
fake
to forget
lisp?
about my problems.
Is that a
for
Cindy
just a few
Brady
hours a
fake
day,
lisp?
and
Maybe.
it really helps me relax.
So where on earth?
Really helps me relax.
Oh my god.
She's from Oregon. Yeah, she does it for a few hours a day,
Okay.
and she
Escapes reality.
yeah.
I guess we all have our ways of escaping reality.
Yeah, some people take a nap, some watch
People
TV,
watch TV, play video games.
go for a walk.
She poops herself.
Yeah. I don't know. I think she claims that she doesn't use the diaper, which is like, well, what are you wearing it for then? What kind of shit are you pulling here? Her boyfriend is extremely supportive. His name is Eric, and
Of course he is, because he's like, damn, dude, if she'll do this, she'll do anything.
anything. I can fuck a baby, literally. That's what he's thinking. She's in her diaper and her passy,
Yeah.
and Eric goes in there and just rips that diaper off her. I mean,
They always claim, as like you said,
not
everyone
sexual.
everyone I've seen in this, I've seen several videos in the past of these relationships, and I always just wanted they claim they don't have sex while they're a baby, but you're having sex with her.
Yeah,
in
but
3
see,
hours.
It goes to my point a moment ago. I think
did you just bell
I
to your own
belled
point?
myself. I've done
Wow.
that before. This is the second time I've done.
All right.
My thing is, at most, I don't think we can disparage Eric, the boyfriend, and say that he's wanting to bang a baby. I think that's going too far without knowing anything about the guy. But I think what this signals is, if your chick's willing to do that, oh shit,
Yeah, sex swings.
can I
whatever.
throw her around in bed, huh?
Fuck yes. I can plant her face into the headboard.
Yes.
For sure. Anal? Absolutely. All on the
every
table.
day.
So she's like, yeah, I'm a lot more confident since dressing up as adult baby. I put on my diaper, I put on my onesie, and I lie on the floor. I play with toys, watch cartoons, and color.
My God.
Yeah. So anyway, I do have a phone number for her.
Yes,
I'm going to try and buzz her really quick.
absolutely.
See if we can talk to little Heidi. Yeah.
See if she poops herself.
Yeah, well,
You say she doesn't poop herself?
She claims not to, but I would call bullshit on that. But I don't know. Let's try her. You want to dial her up? Supposed to be your cell phone.
Hello?
Hi, is Heidi there?
Yes, this is her.
Hi, Heidi. It's Mike and Jay from the Detroit Cast. How are you?
Hey, Heidi.
I'm well, thank you.
Yeah, we saw you on the British British TV show this morning yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, is little Heidi around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you in little Heidi mode right now, or are you adult Heidi?
I'm adult.
Yeah.
Will you go into little Heidi mode today?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Does your voice change when you go into little Heidi? Can we get an example of it? You go, yeah, hi, I'm little Heidi.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I just didn't expect. I was asleep. I didn't expect to be answering questions.
Oh
right now.
no, I'm sorry. Well,
Is this too overwhelming?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're awake
I'm
now.
sorry,
You can
I
answer
was,
questions,
I was
right?
just asleep. This
Yeah.
is a bad time.
well, let's say we go to our little space, and then we'll unstress. We just found your story fascinating. That's all. We're supportive.
Yeah.
Very.
If you guys email me, I'd be happy to get back to you.
Oh, why? But we've already got you on the phone. It's just easier to just do it this way right now, don't you think? Because I've wanted to wear a diaper for a long time and wet myself and have my girlfriend change it, and everyone thinks I'm weird. I don't think that's weird.
All right, guys, I have to go.
Why?
Bye, Heidi. Take care.
All right, you have a great day.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
little Heidi. Maybe we'll talk to you later. Heidi?
It's too overwhelming. See, she can't.
Dude.
I bet at the base of this, is she can't handle stress. She's an anxious person.
Yeah.
And so she goes to this baby mode.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right, and I think what we just did there, we
Triggered her.
Dude, she's probably running to the
Yes.
closet to get a new diaper right now. And where's my onesie?
I
God
know.
damn it, Eric! Where's my onesie?
All my onesies are dirty.
Seeing her with the little pigtails and a pacifier.
What a nut.
She's gonna have to go play on the floor and do some cartoons and color. Could you imagine?
Wouldn't
dude?
it be nice if we
Dude.
could all just escape adulthood?
Could you imagine? What would it be
What
like
the fuck,
if you walked
man?
in the door and Gab was sitting there with a coloring book in a diaper and a onesie and a pacifier?
Be like, get up, woman. You're an adult. Stop it.
And stop coloring outside the lines, Gab. You look like a fool. No, I'm little Gab. I'm in my little space.
Dude, this is just like, is this a generational thing? Do we need to go into the whole millennial?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you know,
probably.
like,
No,
what
no,
the
you know what it
fuck?
is, dude?
It's just escaping from a reality.
It's one-offs that used to not be able to get in touch with each other. The internet has just opened it up so they can reach each other.
I don't know, man. I sense a just degeneration of. It goes along with the whole fanboy thing, and it's okay to just be a friggin' fanboy and watch dumb cartoons. And I
Yeah.
talk about it all the time. I mean, I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
But I'm more nostalgic in that regard.
Yeah,
I'm not like
totally.
watching Jason the Wheeled Warriors today. But it seems like there's like this accepted mode. I mean, you mentioned earlier about the EDM. The Forest having a new feature this year, like you could go get cereal, like your favorite
And you had to
cereal as a
buy it,
kid,
obviously, but, like,
and then you
yeah.
could sit on the couch and watch old cartoons.
Do
It's
they have
just this-
honeycomb?
It's
I'm
this
sure they did.
weird creation of
Dude,
safe
that's so-
spaces.
Oh, fuck, that's
let's
creepy,
let's
dude.
remain juvenile in our thought
That's just
processes.
creepy. Selling bowls of your favorite cereal while you watch cartoons at an EDM. It's just creepy.
It's there's a sort of a pussy kind of side to this whole thing. Like,
Totally.
face life, man.
Yeah.
I'm all for having fun, and I'm not criticizing the EDM. Well, I think that's just a symptom
Yeah.
of what this whole thing is. Like, man, people got to just fucking face life and be an adult
Yeah.
and stop living in your parents' basement.
Yeah.
Sorry, E, again.
No offense,
Boy,
E.
I'm really hitting E
Yeah,
hard
I'm
here
not really
personally.
worried about it, but okay.
Are you technically a millennial, E?
Technically, although I read some new thing just the other day that they said from now on, if you're born from 1970 something to 84, they may be coming with a new name. But originally, under the guidelines, it was I think 1980 to whenever.
So they're extending X into
It was a
millennial
different
to-
name. Now,
yeah,
you know
to
how
make
they
it something.
probably just some bullshit. Honestly, to me, it's probably just some bullshit thing where they try to like people have to keep identifying things
they,
and
they may find a real sociological difference between
I don't-
like your
right.
age and millennials.
And that's the only thing. I
think,
would say that
you know,
I've
you're,
never-
you're living a pan-like existence, and that's what a lot of people are trying to do. But so you're
But I
blending
don't- I've
into
never
that
felt like-
millennials?
You're talking about Pete Pan existence?
I don't,
Yeah.
I've always said, yeah, I don't think that I am like a millennial in the sense that I'm not afraid to have face-to-face conversations, stuff like that. So I think that I don't know that I ever was one anyway, although technically at one point they said 1980 and
Yeah.
up or something.
And with all this said, I generally hate the generalizations of, oh, millennials do this, millennials do this.
Yeah.
But you do see this trend of, dude, living in your basement playing video games
Yeah.
is kosher until you're 25 now.
It's just so foreign to us, the idea of like, oh no, I don't need a car or a license.
Oh my God, it was
What? Like,
it was get the fuck out of your parents' house
you couldn't
ASAP
wait to get out
and
of
go
there.
live on your own.
If there was any way possible to get out, it was like, dude, you would be gone at 15 if you could. The idea that it's like, oh, my mom's my best friend, and I'm just gonna stay here for. It's like, what? Fuck, that's just weird.
Very
It'll
foreign.
be interesting to see how it plays out 30 years from now.
Yeah.
Because these people are going to grow up and be running shit at some point, and like,
Or there's going to be a gap. There's going to be people underneath them that see an opportunity to go for it.
Yeah.
Because the people in that generation just aren't going for it. So you're going to see a super aggressive generation below and above.
Yeah, but
and
they're
gonna
gonna be raised by
squeeze-
these-
They're going to squeeze them out.
you think so? But
Maybe.
But they're going to be raised the same way they were raised, if not worse.
Opportunity, dude.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
If we can hang
See,
on to capitalism, and that's a big if.
Good luck.
If capitalism still exists, there will be opportunity.
Yeah, the only way. Well, yeah, that's true. And there's some people that want to take that shit down to Chinatown, man.
Oh.
It's scary, is what it is. It terrifies me. I'll be gone by the time it fully takes effect, so that I'm okay. But the reason I say these people are empowered because they're able to go online and find each other, and where they used to be one-offs. Remember when I worked at the photo store and I had that customer, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown. He would come in once a week with his rolls of film, and it was like, yes, Mr. Brown is in. And they were just photos of him dressed as a full-size adult baby. He had a crib in his house, and he would be in his crib and sucking his thumb. And it was like, dude, this guy was a fucking creep.
It's a thing, huh?
But if he took those photos to Kmart or Meijer to get developed, like, they would have called the cops on him. I wasn't going to do that, but it's like, oh, here's Mr. Brown whizzing his diaper again.
God.
So my point is that was in 1990.
Yeah.
So those people were there. He
It's
just
been a
wouldn't-
thing.
He wouldn't have had any way. What's he going to write a letter to someone? He would have had no way to find him. But
Well, I'm glad Heidi has found community
Yeah.
and acceptance, and she's been able to tell her story, at least when she's ready to,
right
at various times.
Well, we stressed the baby out. We really did. I thought we were coming in soft, but she was obviously stressed. She was taking a nap when we called. We woke her from her nap, and we're known to do that. I mean, we've screamed at babies while they're napping with megaphones.
Picture her laying in her crib looking at her mobile, going
It's just
around,
ding, ding, ding.
and then the phone rings. Oh,
That's just
snap back to reality.
like, what do you think? Goo goo gaga, like you're swinging at that. It's just fucking hilarious, man. It's just hilarious to me. So, anyway, yeah. Well, that was Heidi. At least we got a couple seconds with her. By the way, the more I think about this, Jay, I think you're letting Eric off the hook too quick. With
Why?
like
I-
when I declared
I'm not-
maybe he wants to fuck a baby. I mean,
That's a pretty strong allegation.
by baby I mean 24-year-old adult baby. I don't mean like he's gonna grab an infant and do anything. But I mean, if he's sitting there and she's in full little.
If you have a
hiding mode-
fetish to fuck that's wrong, man.
But if you, apparently their first date, she was like, "Look, I'm an adult baby," and he's like, "Yeah, cool, whatever."
Yeah,
So-
again, signaling, holy shit, this chick will do anything.
Yeah, but if you walked in and it's like you really want to get it on,
I'm unwilling to call Eric a pedophile.
But if you walked in there and like I was saying, if she's in that mode, she's coloring on the floor, and it's like, oh, time to change your passy. Let's get your pacifier, and then you pull the pacifier out. Maybe it's still a 24-year-old woman, and if she even complains a little bit about it, I would rip that diaper off and I would redden that can, absolutely paddle her can, teach baby
If
a lesson.
anyone is at all attracted to even an adult dressed as a baby, I think there's some pedophilia going on there.
Really? You're willing to make that leap?
yeah,
because there's a
dude.
lot of role play shit. People do rape scene role play. They do baby role playing. I don't know that I'd go that far, but
Okay, well, to each his own.
anyway, Isis.
What?
I know you were distressed yesterday when Jay and I announced. Jay made the call. I just asked.
No, you did. That's a
I
lie.
just said,
but
Jay,
whatever.
would you like to
That's a
have?
lie.
Would you like to get your
You're
learn on
such
tomorrow?
a liar
And Jay
sometimes,
said I
man.
would, and
It's
so,
fine.
I don't know why you're mad at me, but you were all fuck. Thought you were gonna get away. He was hoping we would forget. He told me he was hoping we would forget, and then
wanted
he
the
could,
week- the way the
he
week-
could get away with not having to do homework.
Usually falls on Thursday. That's why, and so I was assuming he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
So.
And I
it's
just
great
laid it
that
out
we
there.
have
I didn't care what you
This
said.
day in history with Big
Oh,
E.
yeah, as if you
What do you got, E?
Whatever. I will say this: there was an obvious one that I could have done today for me, which would be right in my wheelhouse, which is the Battle of Gettysburg ended today. Biggest, I
can't wait to hear about it.
Deadliest war in American history, maybe the most important war, the Battle of the Civil War. But I'm not going to do that because I thought that would just be. I could not help but pass this up because it's my favorite movie of all time.
Couldn't
Back to
help
the
but pass
Future.
this up.
I
Okay,
could.
got
Back
it.
to the Future 1 was released on this day,
Holy
1985.
shit, man.
Wow.
I don't really know as far as pictures, so I have a few, I guess, of the set. I can just pull this up, I guess. But
There's Marty McFly himself on the
Right.
iconic movie poster, looking at his watch
Right,
with
right,
one
right.
foot in the iconic DeLorean.
Does that visual do anything for you? I mean, we're
mean-
so used to that
Fine.
image.
I would have hoped for more.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do
Lion
generic,
Estates.
generic ones. That's where he lived, or the
What?
in the future.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. Look, I'm not. These are what I'm pulling up, so deal with it. So
There are a million images of Back to the Future.
literally
that-
a
For you
million.
to
I
select.
understand. Okay, here's the house. I mean, whatever. Just
That's
a
better.
one image to look
That's
at.
better.
Anyway, so it was written by this Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale.
Robert Zemeckis. Yeah, heard of him.
Yeah.
Zemeckis.
Right.
Yes.
Got it.
People are familiar with Bob.
Actually, I looked into Bob Gale, who was Zemeckis was the director / writer. Bob Gale was just a writer. And I looked into other stuff he had done. I don't know that you would have known any of it. I don't remember. I remember
Did
it
you
now.
look into Zemeckis?
Yeah, because Zemeckis,
Neither-
you might be able to find a few things he's done.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Anyway, so here's the deal. The storyline comes from this. Is that Gale had gone back to visit his parents' home in St. Louis, and he found out, going through some old shit, that his dad was class president in his yearbook, and it just kind of hit his head like, I wonder if I would be. He didn't know that about his dad, and he realized he didn't know his own class president. So he's like, I wonder if I would have been friends with my dad in high school.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay.
And so he went back to California and said, hey, I got this idea. And then Zemeckis.
When did Huey Lewis come in?
Great
Later,
question.
quite later. But he had this idea too of a. So he has the idea of like what I've been friends.
Is it true that Eric Stoltz was originally cast
Yes.
as Marty
Yes,
McFly?
it is.
Very true.
Yes, it is. So he has this idea, like I said, of the.
Why did he not continue with the role? Do you know?
I heard
They
he filmed
originally-
one day, and they were like, fuck this guy.
It was a little more than one day.
I think he did film more than one day.
It was a little more than one day, but it was
I
like
think they filmed a lot with him, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was
And he
decent.
just sucked. It just wasn't
Well,
working.
they wanted Michael J. Fox at first. He was doing Family Ties, and the Family Ties people were too concerned that it would take his time up. So they did go
Who
to
wouldn't want Jay Fox? You
Oh.
know, you're sitting there as
Huge.
top of the world.
Huge. I mean,
Michael P. Keaton.
Reagan Republican.
right.
But yeah, didn't he do both? And
Well,
so he
what
was working all
happens is-
night and then going to the Family Ties set.
Yes. What
Sort
happened?
of a cherubic look to him. He could be
Yeah.
a teenager.
Why him?
Why him?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, here's the thing. What happened was, why him for what?
did he explode like he was huge? I mean, Teen Wolf, dude.
I love Michael
Oh.
J. Fox, by the way. Personally, I don't know. I guess maybe just because I like.
Current Michael J. Fox or
Wow.
Before he started shaking?
Yeah, I guess before he started shaking, maybe. But no, he was great on even Curb Your Enthusiasm when he still had when he had the Parkinson's. He was good on
Yeah,
that.
he
So,
was.
no, but yeah. So he did more than one day. But the thing was, he was just too serious for the role. They didn't like it. He took the role darker than they wanted it to go, and they just kept going like, I just don't like this. I just don't like it. And despite the fact that they ended up having to spend an extra $3 million on what was a $14 million budget, they just recast it and they went back to Michael J. Fox, and they, as Mike said, they worked out a deal where he would do Family Ties in a day, and it was like, dude, he says like it was just like a Teamster would pick him up at like 8 in the morning, go to Family Ties, then at 6 p.m. he'd leave Family Ties to the movie, take a Teamster, drive him there, then he'd drive him home at like, I don't know, 2 in the morning, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just he'd sleep for a few hours and get up and do Family Ties again. But
Was,
you know, he's young and at that point.
Was
and-
Christopher Lloyd always in the role? Yeah, 'cause
Yes,
that,
he
that-
was.
that's key.
Huge.
It's classic.
Yeah, of course.
When
And-
does
although
Huey Lewis enter the
his
mix?
hunch, the hunch that you kind of have, I know people might think it was just supposed to be a crazy doctor, crazy scientist hunch. It was more of the fact that Michael J. Fox was so much shorter than him that they wanted him to like just lean down, and then it became iconic that it was kind of like crazy Doc Brown or whatever, and this because it just kind of adds to the whole character of him. But it really was more just because Michael J. Fox was so much shorter than him.
That's funny.
So the other writer, like I said, they have the one thing about the dad wanting to, or would I have been friends with my dad, and the other guy brings this part of like, wouldn't it be funny if there was this mom who is really preaches that.
Dude, it's the craziest storyline.
Well, no, but
the fact that they signed off on this
Well,
about
no,
a
no,
guy.
well,
I mean, the big storyline.
It
of that
wasn't
movie is
sexy
about him
enough, actually. But here's the
fucking
thing.
his own mother.
Here's the thing. No, his story was more, okay, you have this thing of this kid, what I've known my dad, what I've been friends with my dad in high school, and then also while he's an adult, his mom is preaching like, I never even kissed a boy until I was in love and this and that. Well, what if
Go
that
back
wasn't
to
true?
real
What if she
whore.
was just a
Yeah.
whore?
Yeah.
So you add those two things together, and he's going to go back in
A
time.
whore for a
And
mom would suck. Oh, that would. Your mom wasn't a whore, was she?
I honestly don't know.
Ask her.
Hi,
Would you
Mrs.
ask
Vader.
her?
I don't know.
We could ask her. Miss Vader, you weren't a whore,
You
were
weren't
you?
a whore, were you? Too bad
So-
she was
so
like,
that-
That was
got
kind of
around.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I gotta admit.
By the way, here's a picture of your one dude. That
Who's
was
Doc
before,
Brown?
but that was your
Oh, is
guy
that
Eric
Eric
Stoltz
Stoltz?
before.
He looks way too serious. Yeah, I'd agree.
And well, they said Michael J. Fox said that said it looked. He just seemed like a more genuine. He was like where he was trying to like take it these weird places, and Michael J. Fox even quoted as saying, it was like, dude, in high school, I skateboarded, I hit on girls, and I played in the bands, and that's what Marty McFly was. He was a skateboarder who had his girlfriend and played in his band. Mm-hmm. So where was I going with that? Anyway, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but so anyway, I don't know if I actually knew about this because I'm a nerd about the movie, but it wasn't always gonna be a car. Originally, it was gonna be a refrigerator.
Oh,
and it was gonna
stupid.
And it was gonna be in the desert of like Nevada.
We wouldn't even know John DeLorean's name.
And
if they used a
I wouldn't, dude.
Well,
you guys would. I wouldn't. I wouldn't know what a DeLorean was if it weren't for that. But the reason they did not do a refrigerator is they were worried in the end that kids would mimic it and get caught in refrigerators.
Stuck in the fridge. Yeah,
that was a big problem in the 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
so they weren't worried about kids fucking their moms.
Which also, by the way, that really made what's his name? Fred Rogers came back. I know this is out of history, but just because you mentioned that and copying these things in the 80s, he had gone on away from the show for a little bit. And then he came back because he had gotten so angry that kids were starting to get hurt, like flying off thinking they were Superman. And he was so mad at the industry that they were like putting this in kids' minds that he felt like he needed to come back.
So Rogers came back for a very special episode?
Well, for like a week.
Don't play like Superman?
For like a week of episodes or something.
Shit.
And then it just kept going after that again. But like he came back. That was what brought him back out of a hiatus.
Dude, those are the good old days where it's like, you know what? That the kid that decides he's going to throw on a fake cape and jump off his roof, he doesn't make it. He's not graduating with his class. I'm sorry. You know
So
what I mean?
Mike sat there and said that he thought it was too, like how crazy that he was falling in love with his mother. But the reality was when it's first written in 1980, they took it to Universal places and they thought it was too nice. They thought it was too warm. They didn't think it was hard because at the time you had like Porky's and like Fastmont and Ridgemont High. And they wanted Fastmont Time, Ridgemont, whatever.
Yes,
doesn't matter. I've
absolutely.
seen the movie before. I
Yeah,
just don't know.
sounds like it.
I haven't seen
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I have not seen Fastmont at Ridgemont High in so far.
But the point, all these networks
Some
or all
really
these
great
movie
iced
places were looking at, and they didn't like it. They didn't think it was sexy enough. They thought it was just. They were kind of like, maybe go
It was
to
a
Disney.
PG movie, wasn't it? Yeah, it was PG.
Yeah, so they're like, maybe go to Disney. Well, but they probably the writers didn't want it to be a Disney movie, even though they maybe wanted it to be, more family or teen oriented. They probably didn't want it to be Disney at the time.
Total family movie, no?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying
Even-
that they didn't want to. They didn't want it like that.
The storylines are a bit, dude. I mean, that's a real thing about him banging his mom, and
He
then
didn't bang his mom.
I
though.
know,
his
but
mom
that-
is like coming on to him, but so what?
Yeah.
They're teenagers. It wasn't.
St-
It
Or
wasn't
at
like
least
he was
he
getting
thinks he
titty
is.
from his mom or anything
I know,
like that.
but there was
It
that,
really,
and then
it stopped way short of anything happening with
no, I
his
know,
mom.
but he
keep
could
coming-
have. If he would not
But
have
he
kept his
didn't. It
hormones
was
in
a
check, he
total-
could have
it's a
banged his mom.
total family movie.
He could
But
have
his
banged his
mom was in love with him.
Yes, his mom
As
was
a
in love with
kid.
her own son as a kid.
Calvin
And-
Klein.
But it's
People
explained through
also-
the plot. It's not like it's present day and the mom is falling in
I'm
love
not
with a
saying
kid.
he did it, but and then the other one was
Why
like,
is it
it
so-
kind of creepy that this kid is hanging out with his fucking teacher all day, his science teacher? There were people
Well, what
that thought
happened?
that was
They never
weird,
really
too.
explained it apparently in the movie, but it has been explained as a backstory. Is that what had happened is Marty was just kind of an outlier, and at around 11, he like broke into Doc Brown's lab, and Doc Brown just kind of liked him because he was kind of this weirdo, and so he,
You know what?
he
I
was
sort
actually
of-
working for
I
Doc
read
Brown.
all that into it, honestly. I didn't have the whole 11-year-old
Right,
thing.
right.
And all, but honestly,
He was
watching
work-
that, it's like, okay, they're just friends from the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
And you just go from
And he
there.
was
I
wor- they
never
say he was
thought Doc
working
Brown was
for him.
banging Marty.
I didn't say
not
that at
even
all.
once did it cross my mind.
Don't put
No,
words in my mouth. I did not say Doc Brown was boo-fooing Marty McFly.
You think he wanted to?
No.
I'm
But
just
Mike was saying that it was
there
weird.
were
and
people
I
that
don't-
were like, "Why is this teacher hanging out with this?"
It wasn't a
young
teacher
fucking...
though; it was a scientist. Doc Brown's a
Yeah.
scientist, and he was working for Doc Brown as like an
Yeah,
apprentice.
I had zero problem with that.
Okay,
I never thought anything.
While
of
my
that,
gut, Mr. Rogers, hackles were up.
fair.
Red flags, but dude, Doc Brown and Marty, no problem with it.
And I would agree.
To this day.
I looked, and I've looked every time I've seen that movie. I did not see a single sign of like, why is Doc Brown staring at his ass? I saw that. Nothing.
Nothing.
Not even a hint of it. So fair enough. But I know that was a complaint of some people.
And it's
me
so,
not being one of them.
It's so funny.
When is Huey Lewis getting into this fucking discussion, Jesus?
When it's so funny to me, like when stuff. See, this is the funny thing about you, you son of a bitch. If I
What?
just name the generic stuff that everyone knows that Huey Lewis and the song was in it, so the stuff you'd want to know is shit that you probably didn't know before about it.
Glad you taught us about Bob Zemeckis. But
And so, anyway, so to me, it's always funny when you look at creative things because you got the writers, and you always have these other, of course, consultants and people that try to fix shit and think things will never work and this and that. So they didn't think, because a movie had never been successful with the title Future, with Future in the title.
What?
They did not think it would be successful, so they wanted to write a, change the name to Spaceman from Pluto, like some executive. Because that was
Executives are the fucking worst, man.
that was
It's a
literally
great play on words. Back to the future.
It's
That was,
perfect.
but the literal reason is they did not. No movie before had been successful with the term "future" in it, so they just thought it just couldn't work.
They didn't even have Bing machines back then. Like, think of the research that had to go into that.
Yeah. That's absurd. Anyways, he made that up because he wanted to have his
Spielberg
fingerprints
wrote
on
them a
it.
letter. Spielberg wrote.
Dude, Spaceman from Pluto?
It's said that Spielberg had wrote a letter back, I guess, saying, "Aha, yeah, thanks. That's a great
Right.
joke, but we're good with
We're
the
good.
jokes or something
Yeah.
like that." So, and actually, speaking of that too, there was another. What was where the writer? Shit, there was some. Damn it, there was something that was interesting about that writer. Oh, the DeLorean. So what happened was once they started filming it, Ford, then their promotional team, was obviously trying to get the product placement team. Ford offered them $75,000 to use a Mustang, and then one of the writers, the main creator, wrote back like, Doc Brown does not drive a fucking Mustang. Like he just thought Doc Brown would be a weirdo, and he would not just
Yeah,
be some.
it's an eclectic choice
Yeah.
for Doc. Yeah, I totally see
So,
that.
but they wrote
But if
literally
he
a letter
souped it
back.
up,
To,
if he souped up a Mustang like he did the DeLorean.
But he literally wrote a letter back to him like, no, Doc Brown does not drive a fucking Mustang.
It is the perfect car. It really is for that movie. That
And
time.
so they wrapped this film up. This is kind of interesting. They wrapped it up 100 days to do it. They wrapped it up on April 20th of 1985, and so it pushed it back to what was originally going to be an August release. But they tested it, and it did so fucking good that they're like, no,
Get
this
it out.
has to be a July 3rd kind of
Yeah,
like
summer
holiday
blockbuster.
thing. And so they ended up having to hire like a few extra editors, and then they had like sound editors that were just went in 24-hour shifts to get this thing fucking done, because originally they ended up having to speed it up a few months, but they just realized.
And it was massive, right? That movie
$385 million total. It was the highest
That was
grossing
in
movie.
85?
Yep, highest grossing movie in 85.
Dude, there were some good ones too. If I remember right, there was Goonies. Yep, Breakfast Club, View to a Kill.
When was E.T.?
The Black Cauldron. I don't know. E.T. might have been year before. National Lampoon's
That is,
Vacation.
it went, I will say this: it went 11.
Fletch. I loved Fletch.
It was 11 weeks, #1 at the box office. Then when European Vacation came in, it knocked it off for a week. But then Back to the Future came back the 13th week, I guess it would be, and took it over again.
Dude, I think I remember. I may be wrong on this. I think I went to a drive-in and saw Goonies and Back to the Future back to back.
Really?
Yes.
Like when they did double pictures or
Yeah.
something, or
Wouldn't they usually do like a shit movie and then a good, like those are two big
I
movies.
know. Summer was hammering it for movies.
this is something
Yeah.
you'll find interesting, I think, Mike, or actually Jay too. But remember, if you remember the scene, I don't know how well you guys remember the movie, but when he goes in there kind of to scare his dad, and he's cranking that music, and he's pretending like he's a spaceman, and it's a Van Halen.
Yeah.
It's kinda-
from Pluto.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to get Eddie. They wanted to get
Eddie Van Halen?
the band to do it, and like they wouldn't sign off on it, but Eddie signed off on writing just a few original licks. So if you look at it, it just says like I think it just says Eddie Van Halen and not the band like Van Halen. But like the band wouldn't do it, but Eddie himself wrote like a few original shit.
Wonder
and
if he gave
was
it to him
just-
for free, like he did Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what? It doesn't say. It doesn't say here.
Does that Beat It?
Yes.
Beat It. That
This is
legendary
also-
guitar solo in Beat It. We talked to his manager. He was like begging Eddie. Michael Jackson was like, "I'll give you a point. I'll give you a point."
Beat It or Billie Jean?
Beat It.
Okay.
Beat It. And Eddie's like, "No, you just give it to him for free." He's like, "Dude, he lost millions of dollars."
They all
by just giving it away.
The writer or director and writer also said that it was never planned on doing a sequel. So even though in the end it almost seems like it is, like he gets in that car with the girlfriend. Remember, Doc comes back and he's like, "I'm from the." It's like, shit. I know
Yeah.
we just came back, and he goes, "No, I'm back from the future." Him and his girlfriend get in that car and they go off and like it flies.
Yeah, the
And
flying
it-
car,
yeah.
thus leading to all of our assumptions that we would soon be in flying cars.
Right.
As
But-
if the Jetsons hadn't taught us that
But
years earlier.
he meant that just to be like one final stupid joke, like that people would just like, oh, obviously this is coming back, and he's like, I had no intention of making a sequel.
Didn't they make number 2 and 3 at the same time?
Yes, they did.
One of
But
them was a Western, right?
Yep, the
Was that
third
3?
one.
With Mary Steenburgen.
I loved it personally, even though some people diss on it. I
People
loved
loved
it.
number 2, didn't they? Wasn't
I,
it-
they're all. I love them all. Two's my
Yeah.
favorite though. But
Didn't Nike actually make the self-lacing
Yeah.
shoes?
yes,
just
they
recently.
have.
Yep.
Yes, But the point is, though, my point of that is, though, like, he had no intention, and he said in his, if I had ever planned on doing a sequel, he would never have put his girlfriend in that car, because it just makes a hassle for 2, because when they end it, she's in that car, so they could never just start 2 with her without her being in the car.
And he had to ditch her, right?
And that's
It was
why that is the
Elizabeth Shue.
right,
Yeah.
and that's the
Had to
reason he
leave her on
knocks
the
her out.
porch.
Yep. Because he didn't want he wasn't going to make a sequel, and he thought it would be just a final joke that people would just, I assume this will be another 2,
Right.
and there won't be. So
Interesting, Isis.
the high school class, and this may be one more. Maybe this is it. Maybe I can end whenever, I suppose, at this point. But the school that they shot, like that Valley High, where he kind of goes to school, kind of 2-level old school thing.
Yeah.
That was actually a real school, and it was Richard Nixon's
yeah.
alma mater.
Where was that? Somewhere in L.A.?
Yeah, somewhere there. So I think.
Well
that's
done,
probably
Isis.
it.
I learned a few things.
Yeah, a little
Confirmed a
Huey
few of
Lewis
my
never
thoughts.
came into the mix.
Yeah, I know.
But, I mean,
mean,
what was it? Power of Love? Was
Power
that-
of Love.
Power of Love is
Back
the
in time.
And Back in Time. Both those things.
Yeah.
Like it. They
the
say
Power of Love was the big one, right?
they say this, and it's so funny how things affect culture that you don't really realize, I suppose, at times. But him skateboarding in that movie, kind of being a little punk, rocker, and skateboarding.
They're not pointing at that as like the advent of
No.
Dude.
But, no, they don't point it. But they say that in that time,
Help popularize.
it was this thing, and they even linked to skateboarders from the early '90s, saying like there was something
Tony
about
Hawk
it, like
would
they
say.
saw that, and they did start to think like, oh damn, this is bigger than I thought. I don't know, something about it. They pointed. It was an
It
underground
was more
thing.
mainstream instead of
Right, it was
underground.
starting to build. Don't get me wrong, but they do look at that Marty McFly being a skateboarder and affecting the culture a little bit.
Interesting.
Gentlemen, Steve Gabarra at Zotford has some crazy good deals for you. Zotford's summer sign and drive event continues. Lease a new 18 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4 as low as $202 a month with zero cash due, or lease a new 18 Ford Escape as low as $155 a month, also zero cash due. Peep their passionate deals and their massive inventory at dealsinthed.com. And this deal goes through the week,
Yeah.
through July 6th.
Very
so
important to stress that.
Get there. These
Yeah.
are incredible deals.
Yes. Steve will take good care of you. Amazon Prime Day.
Amazon.
Finally announced, Jay.
Is that right? What do we
They've
got?
extended it by 6 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
This is big news, Mike.
It's going to be the biggest Amazon Prime Day ever. And we'll be able to tell.
What better place for people to shop on Amazon Prime Day than DetroitCast.com? We have an affiliate link there.
Yes.
Click through our link.
Click it. Shop as you
Shop
normally
away.
would.
They're not higher prices. They're the same
No.
price you'd get anywhere. The key is, though, to shop through our link.
And then they hook us up. So
Amazon.
please do that. So it's going to start at, they announced overnight that Prime Day will start at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Jay.
Got it.
On July 16th.
Setting my watch.
It will last for 36 hours, 6 hours longer than last year.
What are some of the deals that I'll
Well-
be presented with?
Well, they're going to have more than 1 million deals exclusively for Prime members around the world. Not only will Prime members be able to find deals online, they will also offer deals in Whole Food stores. If any of our listeners go to Whole Food to get their fucking Amazon deal,
God damn you, straight to hell.
yeah, banned from listening for at least a week, possibly more. Depends how much shit you bought. The company says Prime Day 2018 will be its biggest ever. Prime Day 2018 will feature
Biggest.
It's the best. 50% more spotlight deals. I don't know what that is, but it sounds impressive. Spotlight deals. I want more.
Sorry, I didn't
I
mean
want
to.
50% more of them. It's going to be
I
huge.
didn't mean to make you get into the doubt. But it's just so hard when you make these brash claims like they're going to be the best.
It's going to be the biggest ever. Best ever. Great guy. Prime members will enjoy the biggest deals yet on Alexa-enabled products, including Echo, Fire TV. Who doesn't love the Fire TV? Also, Fire tablets. Starting today, members can save $100 on the Echo Show. So if you think about an Echo Show, just go to DetroitCast.com, click the Amazon link. Amazon. They really have almost everything you need.
There has never been a company quite like Amazon.
Very little.
There is very little Amazon doesn't have.
It's July 16th market. It's a big day for us, you know. Jay, this is going to shock
right.
you, but 4th of July gas prices are going to hit their highest mark since
Really?
2014.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, about
Something-
$2.86 a
Something
gallon.
must have happened with the supply in Louisiana, right?
Well, the national average price of gas is about 63 cents higher than a year ago. Higher oil prices caused largely by continued production limits at OPEC.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
Just
fucking
fucking
OPEC.
tell us it's the goddamn holiday and you want to bend us over and make an extra quarter.
extra quarter or about an extra $1 billion is what the country will spend
Extra
on gas.
quarter on my gallon.
Yeah,
I think you knew what I meant.
I did, but I wanted to let you know that as Americans, we will spend about $1 billion over the next four days, more than we would have had these not been raised. Hawaii's getting just bent over. They're coming in at $3.90 a gallon. Cheapest, South Carolina.
Is Hawaii still under lava?
$2.52. Yeah, parts of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that still erupting?
It's
currently?
pretty how no one cares anymore.
Yeah.
It's just like,
you're
like
yeah,
all
okay,
news.
got it. Yeah, the stuff goes in the water and it makes this weird vapor.
Yeah.
People are dying, whatever.
Yeah.
People aren't dying. Just
well,
people are
homes
losing
being
homes.
ruined or whatever.
Well, that was cool seeing that carb get melted.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. We're not supposed to roast marshmallows. That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Can't roast marshmallows on the lava.
or
floor.
lighting cigarettes.
Is Kilauea still active? Asking Bing.
Good news, Jay. Heather Locklear is going into long-term treatment facility.
What was she wearing when she left jail?
I don't know. What was she? She was wearing those horrible flip-flops with socks on.
Can we get footage of what she was wearing when she recently left her most recent incarceration? Because that is what I'm going to make the call on when I determine the over-under.
Great. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Because I think it was set at 5 days at first when she would die. But here's the thing. She's going into... it's supposed to be a stint that lasts 14 days.
Okay, so
but
she's
she
going to
could
survive
go in
this.
there
We
longer.
need to get her out of 24-hour care.
Right.
Or incarceration. Once
Right.
she's out of that, then we have to set the time limit. I don't think it works to go, well, she might die in fucking rehab. You could, but it's very unlikely.
Very unlikely. The other thing you're not going to like is Heather has a very big team giving her support. So, you know, if you're
Get
trying
her
to
out of
place a
that.
bet,
Yeah.
you know, she's got to go rogue. She's got to do one of those double, fuck you, I don't need any of you.
She
you
can't
know?
have her mom living with her and
No,
shit. You can't be an
no.
adult having a fucking adult caregiver. You have to be on your own, grinning and bearing it.
Well, you'll like this. This might help you make a decision. When she got out of jail, she was supposed to voluntarily go in that day to get evaluated, but you can't get evaluated until you do a detox. So she was supposed to do that, and then she was like, "Fuck that," blew it off. So you know we're getting mixed signals here, but it could be 14 days, could be much longer. She's dealing with substance abuse and mental health, but they say her health situation is the most urgent. So I don't know. We'll see, but she's off to do that now. Anything else? God, some of these stories are just grim. Oh, we didn't mention Joe Jackson died, did we?
I can't remember.
Patriarch.
Not
Whether
really.
that
I think it was
on the air
last
or off.
Thursday or something. I think it happened while we were off, but they had a private funeral service for him. He had stage 4 cancer and died, and Janet led the family as they were mourning, and the family announced a public ceremony will also be held in Los Angeles, but didn't provide details. I don't want to be a dick, but do we need a public funeral for Joe
Oh my
Jackson?
God, no.
I mean,
the fuck care, especially in L.A.
Yeah.
Right? Like
mean-
people who are used to seeing people and they don't lose their shit when they, oh my God, that's Screech walking down the road. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like they would here.
Yeah. I mean, who's going to go to a public
No,
viewing? Like,
nobody.
Because here's the problem with this. This is like renting a venue that seats 5,000 and 400 people show
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? And it's like, should have just stuck with the private one. You know, Joe Jackson never sang a hit song. He's just the guy that beat the shit out of his kids so
Right.
that they sung hit songs, basically. So yeah,
There's no need for public viewing.
he had 10 children with Catherine, and then he cheated on her and had another kid with Cheryl Terrell, his mistress Cheryl Terrell.
Sweet.
Yeah, in 1974, and she gave birth to Joh apostrophe Vani, Giovanni Jackson. Not bad, kind of like that. Michael Jackson gave an interview. Oh, this one I love too. LaToya wrote in her memoir that her father sexually abused her as a child.
Dude, I forgot about LaToya.
Yeah,
She's still around?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. When your father gets out of bed with your mother and gets into bed with his daughter, and you hear the mother saying, "No, Joe, not tonight. Let her rest. Leave her alone. She's tired." That makes you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that would make you crazy. And Michael was saying how he ordered us to constantly rehearse. Once recalled his father sitting in a chair with a belt in his hand, seeing his brothers practice. If you didn't do it the right way, he would tear your ass up, really get you. You imagine just the pressure.
It's like the Beach Boys. Their dad was a cocksucker, right?
Yeah.
Was
his-
it Wilson's dad?
Yeah. Marty Wilson. We used to play drops at him.
It's
Like
just
the tapes are-
ridiculous, you know? You're a talentless fuck, you know, totally relying on your minor kids
Yeah.
for your income. You're
Yeah,
sitting there beating him.
Brian. It looks like Brian Wilson was the one. His
Brian,
father.
what's his dad's name? It's like Morty or
Yeah, I think you're right, Morty.
something like that.
One
And he
second,
was
the article.
he would just be like in the studio. I mean, the drops we used to play, the tapes of him are hilarious.
Murray.
Murray Wilson. Yeah. Murray was quite a piece of work. Prince Jackson, Michael's 21-year-old son,
Sure.
said he called Jackson an example of sheer willpower and dedication. He didn't choose the path that was easiest, but he chose the path that was best for his family. You taught me to take pride in the Jackson name and what it really means. You taught me dedication in the face of adversity, and most of all, you showed me strength and fearlessness. Fly free until we meet again, the Hawk. And I'm just like, when is Prince Jackson going to drop a fucking album, dude? I mean, think about the genes he's got. I mean,
sure. Him in Paris, it's amazing.
Why
you
haven't
look at
they?
Paris and you see Michael.
Oh yeah, I do.
And those,
Yeah.
It's blue eyes and white skin.
I mean, they've got to drop an album soon, right? How do you get Michael
that
Jackson
Paris
as your
is
dad?
becoming more and more prominent in media.
Yeah.
And it is just such a like everybody knows, right? She knows, right? Doesn't she? Does she know?
This is my daddy, it's Papa.
She's got to know,
It's
right?
things I just want to hear her sing. She sings like an angel.
Yeah,
I mean, that
there's
screams Michael Jackson.
Mike's child there. What the fuck?
But we're not allowed to say that. We're just go, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's
Oh yeah. By the
winks
way,
and nods.
apparently the family has been squabbling over who's paying for Joe's funeral services, and so Paris was like, "I'll pay for it," and then Janet had to step in and go, "Do you know how embarrassing it will be if Paris Jackson pays for our father's funeral?"
Right.
And so she's paying for it now. So
It's her grandfather.
I know, and she's got Michael Jackson money. You know what I mean? Like,
She's just some chick paying for Joe Jackson's funeral.
why is some white bitch paying for our grandpa's funeral? The fuck?
Just some chick.
Just some random chick that Michael picked up somewhere along the way. God, what a weird story. That's so funny. Anyway, you guys ready to wrap it up?
Let's wrap
Get on
it
with
up,
your
Mike.
fourth. You know, he said don't blow
Get
any
a fourth
fingers off
on.
you guys. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
get our fourth on. I'm looking forward to some barbecue maybe.
Absolutely.
Burgers, hot dogs. I'm seeing flags pop up everywhere.
$100 million. Paris Jackson's not worth that. Must be nice,
Dude.
That's a great deal, dude.
You know, white people. You know, white
Adopted
people.
by Michael Jackson. What luck.
For $100 million.
Yeah. Unbelievable. All right, everybody. Have a great, safe holiday weekend. Don't
That's
drink
the
and
key.
drive.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Everybody.
Make sure you look after. If it gets too hot, make sure you look after the elderly.
That's right. The elderlies need your help.
And make sure
Keep
you
them
hydrate,
hydrated.
folks.
Hydrate.
Keep hydrated. Don't be out in the sun too long. And for God's sakes, please put some sunscreen on.
Sunscreen's key.
Yeah. Is there anything we're missing?
The SPF level. Do we
High
recommend?
as possible,
Do we recommend a
obviously.
50?
Yeah.
At least.
15 minutes is enough to really torch your skin. So, yeah, look after the kids and the elderly. And,
Be well.
be well. Be safe. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.